Fooling around? Kody Brown's wild remark about his daughter's boyfriend goes viral. Kody Brown has always been a complicated figure in the Sister Wives universe. For years, fans have watched him navigate the ups and downs of plural marriage, fatherhood, and his often tense relationships with his children. But in a recent episode, Kody opened up in a way that left many viewers both intrigued and uncomfortable. During a conversation that touched on topics like love, trust, and physical affection, Kody reflected on his own past while giving advice to his daughter Aurora's boyfriend, Brodie Utley. What was supposed to be a light-hearted family moment decorating a Christmas tree quickly turned into something far more revealing and awkward. The episode began on a seemingly wholesome note, with Kody, Robin, and their children preparing for the holidays in their new home. Aurora, Kody's 23-year-old daughter, had invited her boyfriend, Brodie, over to help decorate what Kody jokingly described as the world's smallest Christmas tree. Brodie, who works as a rancher, seemed calm and polite, eager to make a good impression. Kody initially appeared to be in good spirits, telling the audience that he trusted his daughter's choice. He said that despite all the clichés about cowboys, he believed a rancher like Brodie could be trusted. But as the conversation went on, Kody couldn't resist turning the moment into a lecture about morality, protection, and physical boundaries. What started as a friendly introduction slowly grew uncomfortable when Kody began emphasizing his role as Aurora's protector. Even though he claimed to trust Brodie, his comments about keeping Aurora safe came across as controlling to many viewers. The awkwardness increased when Brodie mentioned that he had given Aurora a pocketknife for her own protection, a gesture that was meant to be sweet but quickly turned into a teaching moment for Kody. He replied, "That's an interesting concept," before reminding Brodie that as Aurora's boyfriend, it was now his duty to protect her when Kody wasn't around. The tension in the room was palpable as Kody continued to speak. He told Brodie that protecting Aurora also meant protecting her from himself, an odd remark that caught fans off guard. Brodie tried to lighten the moment by joking that Aurora hadn't used the knife on him yet, which earned a few awkward laughs, but Kody didn't stop there. Instead, he pivoted the conversation toward other forms of protection, a phrase that quickly took the chat into much more personal territory. Kody began talking about the nature of romantic relationships, explaining to Brodie that it's impossible to be involved with each other in a nature that's romantic without the potential of hurt. He went on to say that physical affection, even something as simple as kissing, comes with emotional consequences. In his view, people should only take those risks if they're ready for the long-term commitment that comes with them. The conversation left Brodie visibly uneasy, and even Robin looked uncomfortable as Kody continued his impromptu moral lecture. Later, in a confessional moment, Kody elaborated on his views. He told viewers that he believes when two people are dating, they are just kissing someone else's husband or wife until they become yours. It was a comment that immediately stirred reactions among fans online. Many took issue with his outdated and moralistic views, while others saw it as a glimpse into the mindset that shaped Kody's relationships over the years. He also mentioned that when he was courting Robin, he was so devoted to his beliefs that he didn't touch her until after they were married, a fact he seemed to take great pride in. Kody said that he wants all his children to follow that same path, emphasizing abstinence and emotional restraint before marriage. But while Kody was busy preaching about purity and protection, it became clear that not everyone in his family shares those views anymore. Aurora herself hinted that she and Brodie might not be entirely on the same page. Her gentle but firm responses to her father's comments suggested that while she respects him, she doesn't necessarily agree with his approach. For many viewers, this moment perfectly symbolized the generational and emotional divide between Kody and his children, a divide that has only widened in recent years. That divide was further highlighted in a recent Patreon Q&A session with Kody's daughter, Mykelti, and her mother, Christine, alongside her stepfather, David Woolley. Mykelti opened up about how her relationship with her father has changed and how his approach to parenting has affected all his kids. She revealed that growing up, it felt like Kody's love was unconditional, but as the children got older, that changed. "I think it was just, like, he just loved us as kids," she said. But the older we got, it became conditional. According to Kody, her father's affection started to depend on how much his children respected him or followed his lead. She described Kody as someone who wanted his kids to perform for him, to do things his way, and to show loyalty at all times. If they didn't, his warmth faded. It was a heartbreaking admission that resonated deeply with fans who have watched Kody's relationships with his children crumble over the years. Kody also mentioned that Kody made symbolic gestures like giving his daughters a clado ring when they became teenagers, a gesture that was meant to represent love, loyalty, and friendship. But she added that even this tradition came with strings attached. It felt as though Kody wanted his children to earn his approval rather than receive his love freely. The contrast between Kody's words in the current episode and the experiences shared by his adult children painted a clear picture. Kody's idea of love often comes with expectations and control. Whether it's lecturing Brodie about protection or expecting his kids to mirror his beliefs, Kody seems to struggle with letting go of his authority. Even when he insists that he wants to repair his relationships with his kids, his behavior often sends the opposite message. Fans were quick to react to this latest episode, flooding social media with comments about Kody's awkward interaction with Brodie. Many found it uncomfortable and overbearing, calling it another example of Kody's inability to separate his personal beliefs from his children's independence. Some viewers sympathized with Aurora, who appeared caught between respecting her father and setting her own boundaries. Others couldn't help but notice the irony of Kody preaching about love and purity after years of turmoil within his own marriages. What stands out most in this episode is the contrast between Kody's words and his family's reality. While he talks about protection and moral values, his fractured relationships tell a different story. His daughters, like Kody and Aurora, seem to be carving their own paths that don't necessarily align with his old-fashioned views. The way Kody spoke to Brodie, trying to set the tone for how his daughter should be treated, felt less like fatherly concern and more like a reminder of the control he once had over his family. As Sister Wives continues, moments like these show how Kody's relationships with his kids are still evolving. He says he wants to rebuild those bonds, but if he truly hopes to do so, he may need to start by letting go of his need to dominate every conversation. Instead of lecturing his daughter's boyfriends or making every moment a moral lesson, he might find more success by simply listening. For now, though, Kody remains a man torn between the ideals he preaches and the reality of the fractured family he helped create.